yes, I'm reporting a traffic collision.
Where is this accident at?
This happened at Lemoore High School, and it's really bad.
How many vehicles are involved?
There's 2 vehicles involved. It looks like there's 1 person pinned in. It looks like 1 person's been ejected. I think that's our teacher, Miss Riggs. She's pregnant. Please help. Like, we need help immediately.
Okay, are you blocking traffic?
No.
No? Okay, they're completely off the roadway?
Yes.
Okay, and you say Miss Riggs is your teacher and she was ejected?
Yes, Mrs. Riggs, and she's ejected and she's pregnant.
Okay.
The driver, I think, is a drunk driver. He looks pretty intoxicated.
And what makes you believe that he's a drunk driver?
He got out and was stumbling, and you can smell the alcohol and stuff.
Okay, has he left the scene, or is he still there?
He's still there.
Okay, and are you involved?
I am not involved. I'm a witness.
You're a witness. Okay, and your name?
My name is Emily.
Okay, and confirm your phone number for me.
924-6600.
Okay. Okay, Emily, I'm going to get the fire ambulance and CHP all en route, okay? Be safe.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Just wait here. We'll be back.
Oh shit, that's Missoula. Missoula, are you okay? Missoula.
Oh my god, Jake, it's Jessica. Jake, it's Jessica.
Jess!
Hey, open the door!
Oh shit, Jess, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay, Jess.
Missoula, wake up!
Missoula, are you okay? Missoula.
Jessica! Help! Jessica, wait, somebody's coming. I can't open the door.
Jessica's okay. Can you hear me, Jessica? Jessica, stay awake, okay? Jessica, you need to stay awake, okay? You just need to stay awake. No.
Oh my god.
Help us, please. She's in the car. She's falling asleep. Come on.
What happened?
I got into a wreck. I was drinking a little bit. We wrecked into them.
Okay. How much did you have to drink tonight?
I had a few shots and a couple of beers.
Okay. Well, why don't you come on over here with me, okay? Hey, can you tend to her for me? Okay. I'm going to run you through some tests, okay?
Okay.
What I want you to do is I want you to put one foot in front of the other, just like this, okay? And I want you to take 9 steps forward, all right?
Okay.
And when you have gone your 9 steps, I want you to turn around and do 9 steps back, okay? Okay, go ahead.
What do we got with the... She good or she 914? The one on the ground. Huh?
Okay, this last one, I want you to put your arms out at a 45-degree angle, okay? I'm going to say right and left. I want you to use your index finger on each one. When I say right, I want you to point your right arm, your right finger to your right and your nose, okay? Same with your left, okay? You understand that? Okay, right. Okay, left.
I have no pulse either.
Right.
Okay, she's dead. Let's go ahead and move on.
Left. Right.
Fresno Circuit, the corner.
Okay, right now I'm going to place you under arrest for driving under the influence of alcohol, okay? Okay, go have a seat for me.
Okay, shoulder. Her leg's broken too. Did she wake it off? I think so. Not reclining. So we're gonna go ahead and fly her out in the helicopter. You get the flight her and figure out, okay? How's she doing, Gil? Can you help my other partner with this man over there?
clear. Huh? We get to that carbon woman. Where were you guys going?
We're going to a party.
Medic 610, be advised, our people will meet on 7th and Dover, and we'll guide you into location.
Hey, Bill.
We're gonna bring her out to first. They're behind you.
been hypotensive tachycardic the whole time.
Because I'm not getting a pulse.
Okay, let's get her on the monitor. She's already got
You'll
an
get
IV
that on
running.
her.
Okay, let's open the water.
Monitor's showing B-fib.
Okay,
There's no
stop
pulse.
CPR. Got the IV running. All right,
Yeah,
just charge the pellets up. All right, you got the IV going wide open.
All right, ready?
Clear.
All right, shock delivered.
I got it. Be ready.
Still B-fib on the monitor.
Okay, let's charge again.
You got amiodarone.
Okay, clear.
Continue CPR.
300 amiodarone pushed. Unflushed.
Pushed. Continue CPR.
All right,
Let's see
second
what we have
IV
on.
started. You still have B-fib on the monitor.
Okay, let's give her another shot.
Epi ready?
Charging to 200.
Okay.
Everybody clear?
Yeah.
All right, we have this normal saline going wide open. Ace is slowly on the monitor. Another. How long has it been since our last epi?
Epi's ready.
Let's give the epi.
She's needled.
Fluid wide open.
Open.
Stopping CPR.
Stop CPR. Okay, we'll put time of death at 14:43.
There you go. Up against the wall. Face the wall. I'm going to take your left handcuff off. You're going to put it on your head. Do you understand? If you do anything different, you're going to hit the floor. Do you understand? Do you have anything on you you shouldn't have?
No.
No guns, bombs, drugs? I'm going to take this one off. You're going to put it on your head also. Do you understand? Yours? Yeah. Female pat down, please.
Go ahead and separate your feet for me, please. Do you have anything on you that's going to poke me, stick me, anything you shouldn't have?
No.
Okay, it's better to tell me now than to have me find it.
I just have gum in my pocket.
Okay. Okay.
Thank
Come
you,
on your
ma'am.
back.
Sit down there and wait.
What's your name? Michaela. Hi, Michaela. I'm Debbie. I'm going to be your nurse while you're here in the emergency department, okay?
Okay.
How are you feeling right now?
I can't feel my legs.
You can't feel your legs.
No.
Can you feel here?
No.
Can you feel up here?
No.
Close your eyes. How about here?
Yeah, it hurts.
Jennifer, you're
Okay.
Michaela's
Mom.
mom? Okay.
How you
I'm
doing?
Lance, I'm the doctor. This is Cheryl. She's one of the nurses here.
Hi.
She was brought in from a traffic accident. We got her right now. She's getting some IV fluids.
Okay.
Pulmonary,
is
I'm
she?
looking at right now. It doesn't look like she has any feeling in her lower extremities.
Oh no.
So there may be a possibility that she's paralyzed.
Oh
But
God.
we're going to get a CT scan and some X-rays and try to figure that out.
All right.
All right. Okay. I'll see you right now.
Am I gonna be able to see her?
If you want, we can take you back there.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Michaela, here's your mother's here.
What happened? What happened?
I got in the car with Haley and we've been drinking. We were gonna go to a party and we got in a car accident. And I can't feel my legs.
Oh my God, baby. Oh, look at you.
I'm so sorry.
What party were you going to?
It was someplace in Arbona.
Was anyone drinking?
Yeah, we were drinking before at Haley's house.
Oh my God, Michaela, why didn't you call me?
We were just gonna go over there. We didn't think it was that much.
Oh, baby. Oh God, let me hear. Okay, we're gonna do this. Okay. We can get through this.
Okay.
One way or the other. Are you in pain?
Yeah, my back hurts, my spine, my neck.
Oh my God. Oh, baby.
I'm going to turn her over to you. You're going to have to make a court date.
What happened?
Answer it.
Drinks and then...
I'm very disappointed. Because we've talked about this 100 times. You know what you're supposed to do. You know drinking underage is not what we expect of you.
You just changed the lives of so many different people, including your own and ours. Miss Rich doesn't get to go home tonight.
Do you know that people are dead? Your teachers?
We don't know about Jessica yet.
She got flown off after you were taken away. In a live helicopter. And she may not make it. You know that? I'm very glad you're alive. Because you could be dead too. You hurt families. And your life is going to change forever now. I don't know what they're going to do to you. But you have to know that they're going to punish you for this. And I don't know what it's going to be. You were going to college in a few months. And that's all gone.
Let's go.
Hello.
Hi.
Jessica's
Yes.
family?
That's me.
Okay, I'm Lance.
Hi.
I'm a
Rachel. Nice to meet
physician
you.
here.
Jacob.
Jacob. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm Cheryl. I'm one of the
Are you
ERs.
nurses?
Nice to meet you.
Okay. Yeah, they brought Jessica in and she was in a car accident. They had to fly her in on the helicopter. She wasn't doing very good. They ended up having to do CPR on her, and we tried what we could to resuscitate her, and we weren't able to resuscitate her.
Can we see her?
Yeah, we can take you back to see her.
I really like that.
Okay. If you want a few minutes here, or we can take you back right now. It's up to you.
I'd like to go.
Give you some time.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Okay?
How does this happen? How? I don't know how to live without you. You are my world. You're my everything, little girl. I love you, baby girl. Forever and always.
looking, ma'am?
I was told to come here and identify a body.
Okay. Right this way through the store, ma'am? Follow me this way.
Please stop me, Megan. Please stop me, Megan. Please. Oh. What are we gonna do? What's our family gonna do? What are my grandchildren going to do? My granddaughter, I never even got to see her.
All right, the Superior Court of Kings County is now in session. Call the case of the people of the state of California versus Haley Lovelace, case 15-CM-0429. Bailiff, will you bring the prisoner in, please? All right, record reflect, Mr. Lovelace is now present in court. Counsel, you want to state your appearances for the record, please?
Jason Rifkin on behalf of Mrs. Lovelace.
Keith Fagundes with the people.
All right, now is the time and the place for sentencing. Ms. Lovelace, I will arraign you for judgment of sentence. You stand convicted of the second-degree murder of Jessica Taylor, the second-degree murder of Megan Ricks, the second-degree murder of Miss Ricks's unborn child, McKinley, and for driving while under the influence causing injury to Michaela George and to Jake Hope. Mr. Rifkin, is there any legal cause why judgment should not now be pronounced?
No, Your Honor.
All right, with that, I would point out I have reviewed the probation officer's report and recommendation as to sentencing, the circumstances of the offense. I have reviewed the victim impact statements by Ms. Rachel Taylor and by Ryan Ricks. With that, Mr. Rifkin, does Ms. Lovelace or does the defense wish to offer any statements of allocution?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, proceed.
Your Honor, what's happened in this case is a tragedy. The death of 3 people, a teacher, a student, a fetus. It's a tragedy. There's no other word for this. But to put away Ms. Lovelace for the rest of her life or for the majority of her life is another tragedy. And to not give her a chance at probation when she's never had a speeding ticket, never been arrested for drunk driving, never harmed a soul in her entire life, would be a tragedy. To think that this young woman would spend the rest of her natural life in prison, in a prison cell, would not be fair. To subject her to life in prison, day in, day out, locked in a 8x5 jail cell, would be completely unfair. Instead, what I'm asking the court do is give her a grant of probation. Give her a chance to show the court that this was a mistake, that this tragedy shouldn't define the rest of her life, that she should have a chance at a bright future. She's a young woman, she's 18. She had plans to go to business school, to make a future, to have a life. And to take that away from her, again, would be a tragedy. If she instead were to work, to go to school, to build a business, she could pay back these families. She could pay back restitution, something she could not do from prison. Additionally, if she was given probation, Ms. Lovelace could tour the country. She could go to other schools, teach other kids about the mistakes that she's made, so that this tragedy doesn't happen again. In closing, I'm asking that the court not create a second tragedy by locking this woman away for the rest of her life and give her probation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Riffin. Mr. Fagundes, would the people like to be heard?
We would, Your Honor. From the people's perspective, the injustice that would occur with a grant of probation in this case is tenfold compared to the injustice that the defendant inflicted upon the families involved here. We have a completely avoidable situation. So much pain and grief has been laid upon people who didn't ask for it. The defendant asked for this. The defendant knows the consequences of drinking and driving. There are programs in schools which educate on the dangers of drinking and driving. Mothers Against Drunk Driving has bombarded us on television with the dangers of drinking and driving. Even the alcoholic beverage industry reminds us of the dangers of drinking and driving. And yet this defendant ignored all of those warnings, ignored the friendships and the lives that she put at risk, and callously took those lives. That is why we're here for second-degree murder multiple times. It would be a complete tragedy for this defendant not to understand the gravity of her actions and not to take responsibility and suffer the consequences of those actions. Quite honestly, there's no greater tragedy in life than having to eulogize and bury your own child. We see it time and time again in our business. So many families experience for the first time, and they will never, ever forget their child's funeral. And yet they will never be able to experience their child's graduation, their child's wedding, the birth of their grandchildren, all because of one irresponsible and careless decision made by this defendant. So it is actually with great pride that I ask on behalf of the victims, on behalf of the rest of the people of the state of California, that you protect society by stopping at least this defendant from future conduct and putting future people at risk. And quite frankly, by my calculations, I believe the term comes to about 49 years to life is what she ought to face. And that's what we're asking for at this time.
All right, thank you, Mr. Fagundes. I do note the defendant is very young. She is only 18 years old, and she appears to have a very bright future. She has an outstanding academic record, was a leader at the school. And her crime stems from the operation of an automobile after having consumed alcohol to the point where she could not operate that automobile like a reasonably prudent, sober person under the same circumstances. And that resulted in her crashing her vehicle into a vehicle being driven by Miss Ricks as she was driving Jessica Taylor home from volleyball practice. And that accident resulted in the death of Jessica Taylor, the death of Megan Ricks, the death of Miss Ricks' unborn child, and resulted in injuries being inflicted upon Michaela George and Jake Hope. Mr. Rifkin, I understand, and I agree with you. Your client did not intend to kill anybody and did not intend to hurt anybody. I agree with Mr. Fagundes. In California, that is not required for a second-degree murder. No intent to kill is required. California uses what is often referred to as the black heart standard, which requires a callous indifference to human life. And in modern society, where we have the ever-present media bombarding us with these same tragedies, where you have Mothers Against Drunk Drivers airing commercials, especially around the holidays, where we see family members engaged in family activities, and then we're told that they were killed by a drunk driver, where you have DARE programs and driver's education programs, all which emphasize the danger of driving under the influence and the catastrophic consequences that the choice to drink and drive can bring. It is inconceivable to me that Miss Lovelace would not have understood the danger she was creating by becoming intoxicated and choosing to drive a vehicle. By drinking until she was under the influence, climbing into a car, barreling down the public roadways in a vehicle that is 2,000 pounds of steel, can only be characterized as a callous disregard for human life, or a callous indifference to human life. It is clear for me that Ms. Lovelace was more concerned about having a good time than she was the lives of the public using that roadway or of her own friends in her vehicle. However, the purpose of sentencing is to achieve justice. Justice does not mean you simply impose the harshest penalty available to the court. Justice requires you examine the life of the defendant, the victims, and you assign consequences that are appropriate to the criminal conduct and the harm that was caused. I agree with you. Ms. Lovelace is very young. In prison would mean that she would not be attending college. She would not graduate from high school. She will not watch her sister Haley grow up. She will not help her sister Haley grow up. But some of her victims were also very young. Jessica Taylor was also a high school student. She won't be attending UC Irvine on the volleyball scholarship she worked so hard to earn. She won't be able to watch her brothers Bram and Jason grow up. She will never marry. She will never have children of her own. Her mother will never get to see her play volleyball again. And in all likelihood, every volleyball practice, game, and player will now serve as a harsh reminder to her mother of what she has lost. Megan Riggs was in the prime of her life, a loving wife, a mother, and a teacher. She was a coach who volunteered her lunch hours to tutor kids so those kids could succeed and have a fuller, richer high school experience. She was exactly the kind of person that society needs, who's concerned with others rather than herself. She won't be there for Grant or for Emily as they grow up, to love and nurture them, to console them when they are scared, to encourage and support them when they struggle, and to celebrate with them when they succeed. Emily, at the age of 9, will in all likelihood slowly forget her mother. She will forget the feel of her mother's hugs, the sound of her voice, and the love that she was constantly shown. Grant, at the age of 2 years old, will have no memory of his mother. She will not exist at all. And of course, McKinley will never be born. Ryan has lost a wife and a child that he will never get to see or hold. Probation would allow Ms. Lovelace to enjoy the very life she has selfishly taken from Jessica Taylor, Megan Riggs, and McKinley Riggs. And I agree with you. She can be an example to lots of young people. I can't see how having her have that life would equate to justice. And I can't see how that would equate to consequences appropriate to her conduct and the harm that she has caused. Ms. Lovelace, at this time, for the second-degree murder of Jessica Taylor, I sentence you to 15 years to life in state prison. For the second-degree murder of Megan Riggs, I sentence you to 15 years to life in state prison consecutive to the first count. And in count 3, for the murder of the unborn child, I sentence you to a 15 years to life consecutive sentence. And in count 4, for the injuries to Michaela George and Jake Hope, I sentence you to a 4-year consecutive term. Ms. Ricks, your aggregate term is 49 years to life in state prison. You will serve 49 calendar years in state prison before you can request that the California Department of Corrections schedules a parole hearing for you. I am 52 years old. You will be 67 years old when you can ask to have a parole hearing. This time you are remanded to the California Department of Corrections at Chowchilla to serve out your term. Bailiff, remove the prisoner. With that, court is adjourned.